was more a discussion. So I tried to capture, but I think we have answer to our challenge. So the participants of the team were very different, like agency, freelancers, banks. They have done 10 maximum, 10 sprints maximum. And their brief, why they were here, is that they never do 5 days. It's impossible. Nobody has time. So you can do maximum 2 days or 3 days. And so they needed to have like an agenda. So it's like, voilà. So we thought that we could try to plan or to map, to model the best way to schedule and to plan a sprint. So with the limit of 3 days, we listed here, which is here, all the parameters of the sprint. So it's a lot, and so I think we will do. No, it's another idea. So you have the problem, so the problem framing, the maturity of the company, the availability of people, what deliverable do they want, do they have user research, what kind of culture they are, budget, teams involved, teams expectation, and long-term or short-term innovation. So it's like well, it could be impossible if you just read like that. So we try to do a bot. So it's like the sprint planning bot. So Patrick, I don't know where you are, but if you want to develop a sprint bot for us, because Patrick does a data sprint, so it's we could do that tomorrow. So the question that you need to ask to your customer or client is really, what do you want to achieve? Not the problem yet, but is it a vision? Is to fix a feature? Is it a new product that you want to do? Is it short-term or long-term innovation? Because the problem is that when we speak about sprint types, we speak about sprint duration, but maybe it's not the right way to ask. And we quote you, of course, Stéphane, because you don't let the client choose between 2 days, etc. But us, I think we're in France. I think it's impossible to do this way. So then we have to ask all those questions, and what resources do you have, the teams, the availability, the users, the budget, the research space, and the deliverables are very important, because you see, it takes time to deliver. So the first day is really the scoping. So you do the experience mapping, you can see the problems areas, and maybe you can do like initial ideas with Crazy 8 and sketching. So it could be a deliverable. It could be ideas as a deliverable. So the scoping could be just 1 day. So we call that the vision sprint. It could be 2 days, but the idea is that a sprint has to finish by testing. If you don't test, it's not a sprint. I think it's a good thing to say today, because we have this question usually. But Kai said that it's really risky today to do 2 days sprints. It's better to do 1 day or 3 days. But 2 days is too tricky. So what you could do in 2 days is co-creation, prototyping, and you can survey people during the night and let people choose between several parts of the prototypes, or I don't know. And then the third day you really prioritize. Maybe I speak too much. Maybe I should. I should. That's okay. Well, so it's short. So the idea is really to say, start small, but just start, because as you as you need to know what the pace of the team will be. So you have to try with them with just one day if you think it's difficult to have more days, and then you'll say next week, next time we will see what we will doing from that, and then after one day they will be convinced for sure. So you'll be sure about that. And then, so they will probably do follow-up sprints, and then maybe, hopefully, a product sprint where you can deliver a lot, like sketches, prototype, roadmap, user journey, pitch deck, design principle, mission statement, landing page, poster, brand attributes. So all of these are very interesting for your customer. Yeah. So what you need to understand behind the lines, because more it's short, more it's risky. So you have really to understand the culture and the maturity, expectations of the teams, the underlying problems, and that, because maybe it's not the only a business problem, or it could be a org enterprise problem. Or customer experience. So you have to understand all this. Well, but basically, maybe our question is why doing 5-day sprint? Because we can do in 3 days. So maybe it's a question to ask to the team because I speak a bit too much. Voilà.
The time is not the question. I think you said this in our conversation. The time is not the question that you're asking. The question that you're asking is what are the goals and the deliverables? Then you figure out what time you need. So we were having a really good conversation about how do you scope backwards from those goals and those deliverables, and how much time do you need? Because you don't want to overpromise something in a very short time period, and that's where the risk comes in. So I really liked there was a comment about how we're thinking more about your larger design sprint strategy, and not just the one sprint that you're going to run, but how are you going to get the outcomes that you need to drive your product forward. And you can do this in multiple sprints of different sizes and types. But you might want to be thinking about it from a higher level design sprint strategy perspective. So.
No, I would really like to thank you for the all the inputs you gave to us. It was great. It was a very great workshop. What I learned in just a few points, but very quickly, a few inputs. It's that well, there's no standard fixed format for a sprint. I think we agreed on that. So as you said, it depends on the deliverable you expect. And so it was really inspiring. We keep in mind that it can be 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, but never 2 days. So we will take care. Yeah, and basically, also I learned that it's possible to make some sprints remotely, partially with some people abroad or in another location. It has to be very well organized, but it's possible. So sometimes it's very interesting to have this. And also I learned something very important, but is that when you the core team for the sprint, so the few people, designer, developers, business that are involved at the beginning have to stay the same and never change the team during the sprint. You can invite some experts or business leaders sometimes to give feedback or expertise, but never change the core team. That was very good input as well. Thank you very much.